Hello and welcome to GearHeads. My name's Jesse and today I'm just gonna come right out and say it, guys. The rape van got me. So the Snap-on guy showed up to the shop like usual. I go out to talk to him, see what's on the truck, see if there's anything I need. I had a wrench that I needed to give him to warranty out also. Good thing to know. Snap-on warranties out gear wrench stuff. So there was some gear wrench stuff I bought at like a Napa like 7 or 8 years ago, and he's warranting one of those wrenches out for me because the ratcheting mechanism locked up. But that's besides the point. I'm standing there talking to him, looking at the tools, whatever, and we start talking about electrical testing, diagnosis, and test lights, and this and that. And then out of nowhere, he pulls out this tool and says, I have to check it out and try it, and he got me. So this is what it is, and I'm sure some of you guys have probably seen these before. I'm really surprised. I had never heard of them, but I guess they've been around for quite a while now. But this is a cordless test light, and the part number, or the Snap-on part, is EECT200. And check this thing out. So it's says Snap-on on it right there. It's a clear case on it. And then it's got a carbon strip going along the top here and at the end. And then there's a light in here and a speaker. And like I said, it's a cordless test light. So I will show you guys how it works. And if you don't know how a test light works, I'll show you how a normal test light works and show you this one too. And then I'll give you my thoughts about it at the end of the video. I'm not going to come out and say, I will come out and say right now, I don't think this is like the best diag tool ever. I just thought it was so freaking cool, and I can't believe I hadn't found one before. But anyways, let me show it to you in action. So this is my normal test light that I have. This is like a 15-year older Harbor Freight one that I picked up in a toolbox a while ago. It's got a longer wire on it. I modified it because the old wire broke, so I just soldered a new one on, soldered a new alligator clip onto the end here, and I'm good to go. So in case you don't know how a test light works, you need power and a ground, and there's a light bulb in here, and this is, you know, for anything on a 12 volt range, anything close to that, and these things are really useful tools to have. You can use it both directions, so you can clip this on the negative and search for power places, or you can also hook it on a positive and then go looking for grounds. Let me show you. So let me just hook it right here on the negative battery cable. I come over here, put it on the positive, and it lights up. Now, this is a pretty simple device. Most of you probably understand how this works, and you know, electricity goes in one side and out the other, and while it's flowing through, it's pulling some current to light that bulb. Now, electricity cannot leave home unless it cannot go back home, and that's what makes the new test light so crazy. So whoever created these things is a lot smarter than me. I understand the basic principle of how they work. You know, it's using your body as a conductor for the ground instead of, you know, using a wire and attaching a ground somewhere. So let me just show you. I'll come over here. If I put this on the positive side of the battery, it'll probably light up for a split second when I touch it, or maybe not. Oh, there, it did it just there. But then watch. As long as I'm touching, so it's doing that. It doesn't have quite enough, you know, current or whatever it is that's making this thing work. That's what I don't get. I know that it's using my body as a conductor, so if I touch the negative, there it goes. If I touch the body sometimes, it depends on how good of a ground you can find, but that's just me touching actually the hood strut. And it'll do it for a second. If I touch an area of the body that doesn't have as much paint on it, then it works as well. So I kind of get how it works. I know it's using your body as a conductor somehow, so if anybody out there knows and can explain to me more exactly how this thing works, I would love to hear it, because while I get the principle, I don't intimately understand it, and I think it's really cool and interesting. So the reason I got this thing is because when he first showed this thing to me on the truck, he has a test port on the truck that you can use. He's got a 12 volt and then he's got a negative next to it, and he's like, yeah, check this thing out, look. So he puts it in the 12 volt slot, and then he touches the negative one, or he literally can just reach around anywhere metal on the truck because it's grounded to the truck. It would set the thing off, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy, that's really cool. But then what tripped me out even more, and I wish I could show it to you, but I can't because the truck's not here. So when I was testing it out, his plug is near where his 12 volt power is near the steps that you go up to step into the truck, and the steps are made of metal. I was standing on the step, and then I was going to go put the test light, the probe, into the power source, and then I was planning on just touching a body or something, and this thing just started going off. And I was like, what? How is it doing that? And then I stepped up into the truck and realized the floor of his truck is like a rubber coated floor, so it doesn't travel through. It's not giving you a ground. But even just when I was standing on the metal steps, stepping into his truck, it was letting this thing work. And that was crazy to me because I'm wearing rubber-soled boots. You know, electricity shouldn't be able to travel through my body and through my rubber boots and then still work. So that to me was what was like crazy about it, and I thought was super cool. So I just wanted to share it with you guys because, you know, I try not to buy things off the Snap-on truck too often unless it's a tool that I really know is a good tool that I like and need. And here's the thing, I didn't really need this, you know. I just saw it and thought it was so cool, so I wanted to get it, and I've been having fun playing with it for the last couple days, and I wanted to show it to you guys. So hopefully you find it interesting too. Alright, so a couple more things about the tool before we call this video over. So the way it works is you've got this carbon infused grip, I guess. It's at the end of the test light up here. It's the black part, and then it's got a stripe going down the side. So you do have to be touching at least part of that for this thing to work properly. But you know, if you're holding this in your hand, you're going to be touching it somehow, probably. So, but just worth noting, you got to be at least touching that for it to work. It does work from 3 volts to 24 volts, but it doesn't tell you what the voltage is. So as far as I know, if you test something down to 3 or 4 volts, it will still, you know, give you the same light, the same beep, and same thing if you get up to 24 volts. That's the range that they advertise on this thing. So at the end of the day, it's not like this awesome diag tool that does so much, because the truth is it doesn't really do anything more than my test light does. It does it in a different way, and it's really cool and fun to play with, but my test light's actually still more useful because with a regular incandescent test light, you're limited by the length of the wire, but you can always add more if you want to. And I don't know, that's probably the only downside, other than sometimes it's hard to find a good ground somewhere with the alligator clip. If you're underneath the body and there's undercoating or paint, it can be difficult to find a good ground. And this will find a ground easier through you actually than the regular one does. But it doesn't load test the circuit, and it doesn't tell you a little more info. So like for example with my regular test light, I find it really useful for testing switches or other circuitry. Like one time I was diagnosing a bad window switch. Now if you get your multimeter out and go test it, or if you use this thing, it would tell you when you hit the switch 12 volts are coming to the motor. But not really, because the switch, as soon as you loaded the circuit up, it couldn't support the current flow and the voltage would drop. And you didn't really see that with the, you wouldn't necessarily see that with this test light, and you wouldn't necessarily see it with a multimeter if you're just checking for power there. With the normal test light, I find it, you know, I hooked it up into the circuit so that instead of rolling the window up or down, it was going to light the test light. And what happened is I hit the switch, and that bulb, it's tried to light, and it kind of got bright for a split second, and then it went real dim. So the normal test light will work on a similar range. I don't know exactly what voltage it goes up to, but the higher it is, the brighter it's going to get, and the lower it is, the dimmer it's going to get until it doesn't work. I find that mine seems to stop working somewhere around 2 or 3 volts. But in any case, it's been useful for that. Similar thing, I had a Jeep that came in, and it had an intermittent fuel issue where it would just die and wouldn't run because it would lose fuel pressure. So I went back there and was testing, and just initially real fast I just wanted to check for some voltages, and I was surprised because my multimeter and my power probe both said that I had 12 volts on that circuit with the key on. But then I found out real quick, I'm like, okay, I have 12 volts, and then I just powered up the pump manually with my power probe, and then the vehicle ran. It had good fuel pressure, no problems at all. So I said, so I went and just grabbed my test light real quick because it was easy to do. I hooked it up to a ground, I put that thing on there, and it wouldn't light my test light. And if I hooked my multimeter and my test light up, I didn't because I knew what was going on. But just for example, if I was to do that, you would see that when you hook the test light up and the multimeter, when it's trying to light that test light, the circuit could not provide enough power to light it, and the voltage would drop. So even though it told my power probe and my multimeter that it had 12 volts, it was kind of lying because it was only 12 volts for nothing. It wouldn't actually power anything. So anyways, those are just my thoughts on this thing. I thought it was really cool, and it's been fun to play with, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. But it doesn't beat a normal test light, so don't go, you know, buy this thing that's all, you know, it was 50 bucks by the way. I think it retails for 60. He gave me a good deal on it for 50. So, you know, Probably not the smartest decision because I didn't need it, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick to the regular test lights if you're starting out and don't have extra cash to blow, because that extra money probably could go towards other tools that will actually make you more money. But anyways, enough of me jibber jabbering. I'm ready to get out of here and go home. So thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, keep wrenching.